Call us at 202-758-8607.
Well, we left off talking about, you have to give a little to get a little.
Right.
And in terms of paying to play within a relationship, and I think a lot of times we forget the give part because we're so focused on what we're not getting or getting from the other person that we're not focused actually on what we're giving, because naturally we're selfish people. So I want to talk a little bit more maybe about our personal experiences in terms of maybe people that we have dealt with that, we felt that we were giving a lot to, but then not getting in return, and how that affects the whole concept of paying to play within a relationship.
Well, I remember, like it's a long time ago.
Like it was not yesterday.
Once upon a time, there was this little red bone who I was.
My type of bedtime story.
Who I was giving her time and energy, and man, we had a great dating relationship. Like, I would think of some shit, we would go do it, and it was just like doing all type. It was popping. It was all good, right? So I really, 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 really wanted to deal with her like that, but she was like a little more. It's not even bad, but she wasn't ready to just chill out and settle down. She wasn't at that point in her life where she was ready to chill out and settle down with me, right? And so, and not even like settle down like I was trying to build a house and do all that, but like I was just trying to see her. But she wasn't ready for all that.
You weren't chose.
I wasn't. And so, luckily, I had to adhere to one of the main rules of the game, and is that she don't belong to me. She belongs to the game. And so she could go play, And so I didn't stay in my feelings, but I accepted her for being like part of the world's game that we all play. And that's the only way you can really deal with that. But that was a situation in which I dealt with somebody and didn't receive, where I put in like the time and all that, but didn't receive that back. And I was just like, okay, well.
And how soon after you realized that she belonged to the game did you fall back or break up or the next day?
No. No.
I'm not chose. All right, I'm out.
We kind of cycle because like we both appreciated what we were giving each other, but like we would do some extreme stuff, and like dang, that was crazy. But everything was always all good. But we would just go kind of extreme, and then bounce back and be kind of lightweight, regular that week. Or whatever. Like, say if it was a wild weekend, that week might be kind of regular. And so that was an occasion in which, I realized, okay, she is a butterfly, and I got to accept that. And it's cool. She's a beautiful butterfly.
Really, timing was off in that situation.
Timing is usually off.
It wasn't really. Was it her not really willing to pay to play? I guess you could look at it that way, but in the sense of time.
Yeah,
but she was spending time with you.
No, the time was being spent. However, that investment wasn't hatching the way that I thought it was going to hatch with that time. But I had to fall back and be like, okay, but what it is cool. And what it is compared to what I wanted, it's not going to be that. But it was never my situation it was never mine to put on that experience and make it what I wanted it to be.
So what does one do in those situations when they realize that the person isn't willing to pay? Like, they're not willing to make that investment of time or
you gotta let it go,
or giving.
You don't necessarily have to cut somebody out of your life. I'm just thinking, like, for myself, a personal experience, like, and not even in a relationship, a romantic relationship, but I've had a friend recently that I realized that I was doing so many things and having expectations of this person. But there were so many things that kept coming up was like, why would you expect this person to do certain things when they've shown you more than once that they're not, that's just not
them?
them.
A female friend?
Female friend.
Yeah.
I mean, show me more than once that they're not going to do the things that I do with people that I really care about in my inner circle. So I should stop having that expectation. And I still love her all the same, but I realize that.
But do you?
Yes, I do.
Really?
I love her like a sister. And
Side eye all day.
I love her, but loving somebody doesn't mean that you have to continue to put yourself in a situation to feel disappointment or
Agreed.
feel let down because of expectations. And it also means that I don't have to change my expectations of the people that I have in my life. I mean, on that level, if I feel like I'm not being treated the way that I'm treating them, I don't have a requirement to continue to treat them that way. I can put them in the same box that they put me in, or a different box, or whatever. But I think that's something that's a lesson that I just personally have really begun to learn the last couple of years.
But does unconditional love change that? You know, does unconditional love allow you to perhaps see past that? You know, maybe this person is just that way.
Seeing Pat, and that's what unconditional love, I think that is unconditional love, is still loving that person. This person called me today and was like, I'm going through something or whatever. I'd still be there, but I'm not going to do the extra things to show my gratitude or continue to expect that from them.
Well, and I
Yeah,
guess
unconditional
that's
love. We're
where-
back to that word. That word
I
is
know.
tricky.
That's the buzzword.
It is. And I guess to me, unconditional love, even though I'm not saying that I practice this perfectly, because I don't, because I think I have the same struggle that you have, Urbanista, but I don't think unconditional